Hello there, you lovely people. I hope you're safe and I hope that you're well. In this video, I would like to speak to Sharlene Monique, who is a singer and songwriter, and she has kindly given up her time to be with us today. So hello, Sharlene.
Hi, Jo. Hi.
Hello. So can you just let us know what you do? What is your job and what you do for your job?
Sure. So I am a singer-songwriter. I write all of my own music. I work very closely with my husband. He produces my music and I release songs. I am also recently an author. I have a book that just came out last year. I recently toured with the wonderful Gabrielle last year, November, on a 15-date UK tour. I'm also a member and writer for the Kingdom Choir, and we're best known for our performance at the Royal Wedding.
I love that bit. So with all the jobs that you do, what is the favourite part of your job? If you can pick one of those, what aspect is the favourite part of your job?
If I'm honest, my favourite part is being on stage and connecting with people. That's definitely my favourite. And even when I was teaching in schools, one of the things I loved was being able to teach the children my songs, because there's something so powerful about speaking words of joy, happiness, life, encouragement, and speaking that over yourself. I find it to be very, very powerful. And so, yeah, that's my favorite part. Meeting people on tour with Gabrielle and hearing them say that my songs had impacted them, having them come to the merch table and cry over some of the songs, that is the bit. And it's the bit you do the least. You drive to the venue, you do all this stuff, you sound check. All of this stuff takes up so much time for like a half an hour set. But that's my favorite part, being in front of people and connecting.
I love that. And like, that's so varied as well, isn't it, with your job? So can you tell us, obviously for children and young people that are watching this, in what way do you think that creativity can help people with their mental health?
Well, I think most people, if they're honest, even if they're not singers, they find themselves singing in the shower, they find themselves singing when no one's watching. Singing and music just makes a lot of people happy, maybe not everybody, but music is just such a universal language and sound. And it's very, very powerful when you sing. Bono says that we can change the world because music can change the world. I just feel like music, it hits the heart, it hits the soul in a way that speaking sometimes doesn't. When you sing something, when you speak something and you declare it over yourself, it's just a very, very powerful thing. And singing just makes us feel good. Music just makes us feel good. It makes me feel good anyway.
It makes me feel good too. So obviously being a singer and songwriter and a busy lady like you are, how do you stay mentally fit yourself?
I think one thing about me, I'm very, very proud to be a mummy. I'm a mummy of a one-year-old, and I'm a wife, and my family is my foundation. So all of that stuff can be happening, but it's just so beautiful to come back and have a beautiful support system. But what I would say is, staying healthy with singing, I think it's important to just not let it define you, because sometimes when people ask me, like, what do you do? I actually usually lead with, I'm just a lover of people, I'm a friend, I'm a mummy, I'm a wife, because if I don't sing anymore and I can't do those things and I don't get that validation, then who am I? I'm still a lovely person. Those things don't define me. So I think it's quite important to not let what you do define you, because I've sung on some very big stages and some of it's been crazy. Some of the things we've done, it's like, what are we doing here? Just in front of like thousands and thousands of people. It's like, how did we get here? But I just think it's remembering why you do what you do and not letting it define you.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for some young people, obviously trying to find their way in the world, it can be tricky. It can be tricky. So my next question is about social media. Obviously you're on social media. We'll get your details with your social media site shortly. But how would you ever deal with any negativity on social media?
I'll be honest, I don't get very much negativity. I have a few people that kind of give unsolicited advice, because I'll share my family and I'll share little bits. I'm very personal, private rather, but I will share little snippets of my life, because I just think the most powerful thing you can give away is your story. And I just love sharing little bits of my life. But come off social media. That would be my biggest advice. And I know it's not easy. I have a nephew who is in love with his TikTok, and I have a niece who wants to have a YouTube channel. And I think managing time on social media is really, really it can be tricky, and also very tricky because what you're seeing on social media is everybody else's highlights and all the great things that everybody else is doing. So even for me, I have to find ways of just switching off, and I try to post and then not go on and check the notifications constantly, which even sometimes can be a challenge because like, let me just check, let me just engage. But I think it's really, really important for us to switch off sometimes, which I know can be hard for young people because it's a different generation. The generation is socials, TikTok, not really Facebook, more Instagram for the really, really young ones. But definitely TikTok, that is the place that my nephew loves to be. So.
And apparently the young people aren't on Facebook anymore because all their parents care as well. So, but do you remember?
That's why I corrected myself.
Yeah. I remember though, because we're going to one day watch this back and it will be like Facebook and Instagram. Like, do you remember MySpace?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it changes, doesn't it? It changes. And obviously you're working in a school as well. You'll notice, that young people, their phone is their everything for some of them. Okay, my next question, I'm going to love this one. So what or who inspires you?
That question's such a great one. And I'm a bit different. I could probably list some celebrities that inspire me, but I'm really inspired by people who have integrity. And what I mean by that is people who do what they say they're going to do. It's one of my core values. And it's something that I really learned working under Karen Gibson, who's the director of the Kingdom Choir. She's very much about excellence, and our word is our bond. And if we say we're going to do something, then we commit to it. If we say we're going to be here at a certain time, we commit to it. And I just think it's very powerful when you have integrity and you go about your day and you go about what you do with truth and honesty, and it makes you feel good because you're like, I've committed to this and I'm doing it. And people that do that, they inspire me. I love that.
Yeah, my word is my bond. I love that. That is such an important one. So if you was about to perform, how do you deal with those nerves? How do you deal with those nerves before you go onto a stage?
Yeah, that can be tricky. I can say just from touring with Gabrielle, that was like 15 shows, sold out shows. I can remember we did the Symphony Hall in Birmingham, which was a lot of people. I just have to have calm. I'm not really good with being stressed and rushing. So I did it with my husband. He was playing guitar and bass and cajon, just like a little drum. And he was driving everywhere as well. So we kind of found our rhythm. We would arrive, he would go set up the merch. I would go straight to the dressing room. I would relax for a little bit, put some music on. I would do my makeup because I'm an independent artist. So you do everything yourself. Do my makeup. And then after I would do a 30 to 40 minute vocal and physical warm-up, which literally gets rid of the nerves. It's so good. Loads of stretching, loads of breathing in and out, loads of deep breathing just to oxygenate the lungs and get the blood flowing, and then a really good vocal warm-up. I also have a vocal steamer that just kind of relaxes the vocal cords, and I would use that. So yeah, a lot of deep breaths really helps me to stay calm. Usually if I'm really nervous, by the time I get on the stage, it all goes. And one of the keys as well is to be prepared. But sometimes, even when you are prepared, I remember the first day of that tour, we were late, we were rushing, I didn't get to finish my makeup, and you just have to just do it. You just do it feeling a bit flustered and you just get through it. But breathing deeply and having a good warm-up really helps me.
I love that. So where can we find kind of more about you on social media?
You can find me on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. TikTok is Sharlene_Monique, and that's Sharlene with an S. You can also find me on my website at charlenemonique.com.
Sharlene, what advice would you give to somebody that feels as if they've lost all hope in ever making something of themselves in the music industry? Because it's a big industry, isn't it?
It is a very big industry. There's a few bits of advice. I would say sometimes when you're trying to achieve your goal or your dream, I know there was a period when I was working in the city and I was a receptionist, and on the weekends I would go to auditions, and sometimes during the week, and I would travel around Europe doing choir workshops with, again, the leader of the Kingdom Choir. And I'll be honest, it made no sense to me because I didn't want to be a choir conductor and I didn't understand why I was there. but sometimes you just do the thing that's in front of you and you do it well. And honestly, doing that with Karen just taught me so much that I literally use today, now that I'm touring on my own, about giving excellence and being confident and stepping out even when you're fearful. Like, there's so many transferable skills. So sometimes, even if you're not doing the thing that you want, sometimes the thing that you are doing will lead you to the thing that will lead you to the thing that will lead you to the thing. And also, there are moments when just incredible things happen. When Karen Gibson was on a bus in Clapham Junction and she got the call saying, would you be willing to get your choir to sing at the royal wedding? These crazy opportunities do sometimes pop up. It doesn't happen every day. And that was honestly like a lifetime, like once in a lifetime opportunity, getting that phone call, but you just never know what will happen. But my advice would be, do what's in front of you and do it really, really well. Network, talk to people, and you'd be surprised at opportunities that pop up. Yeah. And also, if you're a young person, go to a class, like learn about singing, work on your vocals so that you can feel the best and the most confident. Like, even me now, I have vocal lessons all the time, because you never stop growing. You always want to improve and be the best you that you can be.
I love that. And I also encourage young people to sometimes find 20 seconds of being really brave, stepping outside your comfort zone. And I think that fits really nicely with what you're saying, because sometimes you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to network, and things don't come easy, but it's about working at them.
Absolutely.
And my last question that I have for you is that, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self?
That's a great question. When I was 16, I really, really struggled with my self-esteem. And I actually wrote a song about it. It's called You, and you can find it on all the streaming platforms. And it just talks about how beautiful we are, and doesn't matter whether our hair is brown or blonde or however we look. The words are, oh, 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 you're beautiful, beautiful. There's no one like you. There's no one like you. And I think that's what I would tell my 16-year-old self, that what is unique about me is actually my superpower. I don't need to be anybody else. I can embrace. I've always been a very, very excitable, happy, bubbly person. And sometimes a bit misunderstood, because I'm like that. It's like, why is she so excited? Why is she like that? But I think however you are, whoever's watching, you're unique. Everything that about you that is unique is what's special about you. Embrace it, and just know that there will come a point when you'll feel better. And I would also say to myself, don't speak so negatively. We're very powerful people, and what we say actually becomes something. When we speak something, it becomes our world. So if you say, I'm ugly, I'm unattractive, I'm this, that is exactly how you'll feel. But if you say, I'm beautiful, if you say, I can achieve anything, when you speak it, it's very, very, very powerful, and that is what you create. So that's what I would say to myself. Don't speak so badly about yourself, Shar. You are doing great, and you are great.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Sharlene. I've really, really loved connecting with you, and just keep up doing the great work. Thank you.
Thank you, and you too.
See you later.
Bye.